table for reading from the Gospel. The Holy Gospel of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ according to St. Luke.
Glory to you, O Lord.
On the way to Jerusalem, Jesus was going through the region between Samaria and Galilee. As he entered a village, 10 lepers approached him. Keeping their distance, they called out, saying, "Jesus, Master, have mercy on us." When he saw them, he said to them, "Go and show yourselves to the priests." And they went. They were made clean. Then one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back, praising God with a loud voice. He prostrated himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him. And he was a Samaritan. Then Jesus said, "Were not 10 made clean? But the other 9, where are they? Was none of them found to return and give praise to God except this foreigner?" Then he said to him, "Get up and go on your way. Your faith has made you well." Here ends the gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, O Christ. Please be seated.
Morning. You have seen the insert in your bulletin, and if not, please do take time to read it today. If not now, then certainly when you get home. And you will see what certain amounts of money can do. We also have in there, in your bulletin, the crowd hunger walk on November 3rd, the information. And some people, we've got Argentina in there. Wow. All over the world, to say nothing of when they give us help here in the United States. Now, I have a question for you. I also don't have a yellow bucket.
It's in my office.
Oh, yeah, we'll get it. Now, my question is, I don't see him, but Jared will be holding the bucket today. And who do you think among the Protestant churches who walk, because the Catholic churches do not walk with us, what church do you think, thank you very much, Miriam, what church do you think provides us with the largest amount of walkers? Anybody want to take a guess?
Lutheran?
Absolutely, thank you very much. Now that we've got Lutheran, which Lutheran church? I'll give you a hint, it's not us.
No. Our Savior's?
Pardon?
Our Savior's?
Nope. You would think so, they're certainly quite close here. Way up. Beautiful Savior.
Beautiful Savior.
And they all wear the yellow shirt, they all come in their uniform. The yellow shirt that says, "God's world, our hands." And they always get a big picture of everybody together, and they have a great time. They don't always raise the most money, usually we do among the Lutheran churches, but they give the largest number of walkers. Now, how about this? 2013, we gave 583. 2014, 690. 2015, 871. And here's the pistilla. How do you say that? Pistilla.
Resistance.
Resistance. You never know, I really have French blood in me. In 2016, $1,800. 2017, 1423, 2018, 1313. So, hopefully we have a ways to go. Last week we know Pastor put in how much? 100, absolutely. And the rest of us gave $36.34. So remember, we always have to match what he gives. Now here's mine, and last week, remember, I had clunk when I put it in. No clunk. Well, it is sort of a clunk from the envelope, but no change in there this time. So I am doing better to match him. And we're going to have Jared hold, as I said, hold the bucket. And I think Pastor Kim has something.
Yep, I do.
All righty. So, Jared, you're good.
He's here. Some nursery maybe? Praise to the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, one Lord, one faith, one source of every merit. Here now renew your church through the simple heaven, grant peace of You know, that's actually a pretty well-known Lutheran song. Obviously, we haven't used it much over the years. But it's one you may have grown up with in the church.
Yeah, I do.
The organist yesterday at Mike Weave's funeral played Who Is This Host Arrayed in White, which for me growing up was the hymn we always sang on All Saints Sunday in church. But this congregation is pretty unfamiliar with that hymn. I made an assumption the last time I did it that you would all know it, because I grew up with it. But it's in our hymnal, and maybe, it's really a beautiful hymn. Maybe we'll make some more attempts at it.
I suspect that a lot of these hymns depend upon what part of Sweden people came from.
Or Norway, or Finland, or Denmark, or Germany.
Or Iceland.
Yeah. Well, good morning, folks. It's good to be with you today. Thank you for moving forward. That's a good thing when our attendance is down on a Sunday, that folks move up a little bit in the church. Besides that, you're trying to avoid fans, I think, this morning. But right now, I'm kind of feeling like it's getting warmer in here. Maybe it's getting warmer because we've read the gospel today. Now, that warmth could take place for a variety of reasons. Maybe we feel like we have a little guilt for not being thankful enough to God for all of the blessings and bounty that He has set into our lives. I have to wonder, Della had to replace all her water pipes in the last couple weeks. Did you thank God? Oh, you repaired. That's right. They went through the floor and repaired the spot. So did you thank God for all the concrete dust and all of the... I remember a time not too long ago when the Hardys were away and their pipe under their kitchen sink burst while they were away from home and flooded their house. I have a feeling they weren't very thankful for that. But in the midst of those kinds of things, there are always things to be thankful for. The support of family and friends, finding a good contractor, having the right insurance to help cover the costs of it. Those are all really good things to be thankful for. Camille Jackson called me this morning. I don't usually answer my phone unless it's home calling on Sunday mornings, or Debbie. And this morning it was Camille Jackson when I picked up the phone. She has an extension with the appliance on her face for another 2 weeks, longer than she expected. And at this point, her markers have not decreased from the radiation treatment. So she's looking for other options, just as Felicia is looking for other options to handle the cancer that they're both battling. But Camille's very thankful in her life. As uncomfortable as she is, she says, at least I can eat soup. I can't chew anything because she has pins through her jaw on one side, so she can't have anything hard or solid to chew on. Being the popcorn nut that I am, that would drive me crazy, not being able to eat popcorn. But she's thankful that she can eat soup and other soft foods, and she's especially thankful that she has her 2 adult sons living with her right now, because they've been able to take over much of her household duties. And she's able to at least rest, though not getting much sleep, she's able to rest throughout each day. So she's found a reason in the midst of this in her life to be thankful to God for the blessings that God has given her. You know, I think so many times in our lives we run into situations where we forget to give thanks to God. We were up north, the boys, my 3 older boys, and Jonah and Caleb, Rachel's 2 boys, were up north for 4 days, up in Page, and we went to Zion National Park, and we went to the North Rim of the Grand Canyon while we were up there, and we had a wonderful time. We had only 2 close calls driving. I drove 1,200 miles in 4 days. And one of them was a bus on 89 coming up close to Page, who didn't allow enough time to pass. Yeah. And I had to pull off the road at highway speed onto the shoulder to avoid getting hit, as did the car behind me. And then we had one really fast stop in Phoenix, and I wasn't following too closely, but boy, in front of me everything went really fast, and I slammed on the brakes and apologized to the kids because everything under the seats came forward in the van. So I was thankful to God that we drove that number of miles and only had several close calls. I know it can be much worse than that when we're traveling. And other than that, we had a wonderful time and truly enjoyed the fall colors that we got to see. Yes, the San Francisco peaks were ringed with yellow and gold. Yep. And I certainly enjoyed looking at that for miles and miles and miles as we came south from Page. But I was also thankful for cold weather. I don't think the people who were planning on going fishing on Lake Powell were very thankful for the 28-degree morning that we had on Thursday morning. We saw some of those men standing in their gear to go out fishing, kind of looking around, and I suspect their conversation was, do we really want to do this morning? I'm certain there was grave hesitation on their part as they considered what the temperatures were like. But so many times in our lives we forget to be thankful. It's like the lepers in our gospel for today. You know, 9 of these 10 men literally being cured felt such an uplift in their lives that they rapidly headed for home because they would not have been allowed to be in their homes. But one, and that one an outsider, one who was not noted for having strong Jewish beliefs, but obviously was most thankful for being cured alongside of the Jews who were with him. And he turned back to thank Christ for being healed. You know, in the face of the troubles of life and this world, we need to turn to Christ every day and say thank you. We really do. We all do a lot of complaining, but we need to be thankful that Christ is in, with, and around us every single day, guiding us, holding us in his care, and being with us to strengthen our faith and give us courage in the face of a lot of brokenness and sinfulness. Yesterday, I have no way of knowing how many people who came here yesterday were churched, but I can guess. Now, the modernism community will turn out 1,000 people on a Saturday to come and listen to speakers speak about the Broadway expansion, the importance of the buildings along the Sunshine Mile, all of those things. But I wonder where all 1,000 or so of those people are this morning. And are they truly thankful to God for all the benefits that God has given them in their lives? And is the church a part of their daily living, or at least thought of on weekends? One of the purposes of our having people here and sharing some hospitality is to get people to think about that. I haven't been in church for a long time. Maybe it's time I should go. Maybe I should try this place where I felt welcomed. But probably fewer than half of that group of people are in church this morning. My broader guess is 25%. And that might be a high estimate. So we need to remember that there are so many people out there who may have at some point in their lives had contact with Christ, but have slipped away because they have not remembered to be thankful, or because the world has dealt them such a difficult hand that they feel overwhelmed. By the way, that overwhelmed thing happens to all of us. Whether it's Maria trying to get her car running again, or Julie with cracked rib, or David now working on his 96th birthday, which I think is going to be June 27th of 2020, right? Now you might go, wow, Pastor, you're almost 70. You remember David? No, Jesse's birthday is June 27th. I'm no miracle worker in terms of memory, believe me. All of the reasons to be thankful are there right in front of us. Every individual is provided for by God's providence every single day. When I have stopped to help people who are on street corners or standing off to the side of the road with a sign that says, "I'm hungry," and I give them assistance, and you're going to think I'm going someplace else with this. I am rarely not told that they thank God for the gift they received. And my comment to them always is, God bless you. Go get something to eat. Go take care of your dog. Go, whatever you need, take care of that. Because God's providence surrounds you. And that's for a person who's homeless who understands. If they get money that day enough to eat, I've had several of them cross themselves, stand and say a prayer, and head out to the local fast food place. Those are people who are saying thank you to God, who have far less than I have. Probably far less than you have. And sometimes, I wonder, how did I get here? How did I get the responsibility of a house? How did that ever happen in my life? I look around myself and think about everything that we have as a family. I'm thinking now, I'm in terms of, let's see, Josie will be 18 in 4.5 years. Isn't that a tough one to believe? Remember little Josie, 14 months old, walking around the church? Or Jesse, who will also be 18 in 4.5 years. Or Jared, who when 10 years has gone by will be 18 and I'll be 79. Just a young thing, huh, God? I kind of wonder, and then I think, no, God has really richly blessed my life. I have a wife who has put up with me for almost 48 years. And some of that time has been the most wonderful time we could have ever hoped for. Some of it has been some of the most difficult time we wish it never happened. But we always knew that God was in the midst of our marriage. We always knew that. And so it's important for you and me to remember that the presence of God is with us constantly. And we need to be the ones of all people who thank God for everything that we have. The ups, the downs, the ins, the outs, the triumphs, the sadnesses, the defeats. God is in the midst of them all. And we are really blessed by that presence, no matter how tough things get. So may we be like the Samaritan man who came back to Christ, the only one of 10 and 9 were supposed to be faithful Jews, the only one who came back to say thank you. Let's be the ones who always say thank you, God, every single day. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.